But we're going to wrap up the day with CatZ versus Ragnarok. Now, Andre, you've been practicing a lot of ZVZ. We've been casting a lot of ZVZ.
Yeah.
And now we have ZVZ once again, but it's ZVZ with CatZ.
Yeah, that means you don't know what you're going to expect.
That means it's not really going to be it's ZV CatZ.
Zerg, yeah, exactly.
It's not.
That's exactly right.
It's not Zerg versus Zerg. You can't say. People ask, what's your win rate against versus Zerg? And you'd be like, oh, yeah, like 55%. But really what they ask you is, what's your win rate versus CatZ? Be like, well, probably 25% because I don't know what build he's going to do.
That's what's so powerful about him, especially against Koreans. I think CatZ is one of the best examples of a cerebral player that can get into the mind and really exploit people that take metagame, quote-unquote metagame, too much into account. And he will be the one that, you know, mind games your mind game. And that's something that is really, really special, I think, in the scene. CatZ known for that type of style. But, yeah, I figured, you know, ZVZ, we haven't casted one yet today. And what's a tournament without at least one ZVZ in this day and age? And
now that, you know, ZVZ has been more figured out, and a lot of people are differing in styles, not just roach-based, but, you know, Ling, Infester, Mutas, or maybe if you're dark, just pure Infestors. Just I don't even know why you bother making Zerglings. Just make Infestors until you feel like you have enough. And the answer is, Andre, that it's never enough Infestors.
No, it's not. I mean, God, Dark. I'm so glad he's in the North American Star. Like, he made it to the finals in our second qualifier for Season 4, and of course he won a the third qualifier for Season 4. So he's in there, but he was making something like 40, 50 Infestors in a single game. I don't know how he was able to actually manage that. All I saw were a ton of infested Terrans popping up all over the place and just absolutely raining hell down on any of his Zerg opponents.
You can see pretty similar builds overall, even though, yes, you can see that the hatchery did go down earlier for CatZ before his pool and vice versa. I mean, Ragnarok goes for the pool a little bit earlier. But in the end, you can see that the big difference in big deviation is that CatZ delays his gas pretty significantly compared to his opponent, and Ragnarok will be able to get out speed a lot earlier. Now, when Ragnarok scouts this, which he already has, he knows that CatZ is being a little bit more greedy. But in the end, Andre, do you think it's negligible, this amount of small difference? Does Ragnarok have to initiate any kind of aggression?
You know, the matchup has been figured out enough, I think, in this early game stage where, yes, Ragnarok will apply a little bit of pressure. Hopefully, he'll be able to actually force the drone off the line. If possible, kill it. That will actually put him ahead. Not ahead, but even, excuse me. They might do that, yep. So we're going to see this income tab be very, very close from here on out. That's exactly what Ragnarok wanted to get. You know, the thing is, you might think, oh, the hatchery gets out. You're really, really looking good. But the fact of the matter is, when you go this pool hatchery, you actually get the second queen out a little bit faster, and it can prepare for that inject. As long as you land that inject, you pretty much equalize in larva. I think you're one larva off from there. You just obviously kill something. And you have Zerglings out a little bit faster than your opponent. Obviously, that drone is going to constitute that. And they are even. Congratulations, guys.
Well, you can see that at this point, CatZ, he's just going to run by and get some good scouting information. But both players are both going for Baneling Nest. Now, the way ZVZ has kind of been evolving is really safe defensive Banes. You know, get a huge drone from that, or drone up at that point. Choose your tech, whether you want to go roaches or you want to go infestors, or whatever you want to go off your layer tech. And then just continue to fight for that position on the third. A lot of people say, if I can deny that third, I'll get ahead, and vice versa. You see that struggle. But also at the same time, some players decide to just go huge aggression still with Banelings, but it's still rarer. And we don't really see it too often, but Ragnarok is being really aggressive with his speedlings, and it's at a time where CatZ is just finishing his Baneling Nest, so as long as he can pick off whatever he can, Ragnarok is doing a pretty good job here, and he's making Banelings in the face of his opponent.
Wow. And Ragnarok trading way too much over here. The queens won't even go down. Great drone micro over there. And look at this, now going to take out these Banelings. I don't think this Baneling should do any form of damage. There it goes, explodes on nothing. So a kind of wasted effort over there for Ragnarok. CatZ off of this, where is his advantage going to be? Well, you can see Harvester count is still a little bit behind, but you're going to see, I think, CatZ really, really pull ahead pretty soon. Nope.
Well, that's what we were kind of saying, though, because Ragnarok is playing very greedy with his drone count, and as a result, really doesn't have much going on with him. But when you're so aggressive, because of the queen buff, your defense is really a lot stronger.
Yeah.
You know, you really can protect your ramp really easily. Although CatZ did miss an ninja because he pulled his queen down.
That's what it was.
In the end, I still think CatZ is in a pretty good position. Now he's gonna have to deal with Mutalisks, which is it always seems like a wild thing, because for a while I thought mutas were just very like, I'm just gonna, you know, control the map and then just constantly make mutas, but mutas are now used for multi-purposes, Andre, aren't they?
To get map control, of course, to really, I would actually say counter a lot of infestor tech when you're relying off of just 2 bases. And I use that very loosely, but the fact of the matter is you can't really do any pressure when you're going something like infestors off of 2 base, so I can get a very aggressive 3rd base. And if you do go to pressure out, I just send in my mutas or scatter my mutas, try to pick off some infestors, and you're wasting like 1 fungal growth or maybe 75 energy or even more on not even killing a unit, just defending. So, oh, Ragnarok, you gotta be careful with those Zerglings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Spire tech is really powerful overall, but we'll see.
I think so too. Especially considering that both players seem to be going for the Spire.
There's no Baneling Nest. These Zerglings are absolutely going to crush face.
From CatZ?
From CatZ, yeah. If he actually goes into the natural.
Ragnarok, right?
No, there's no Banelings.
Oh, there's no Banelings, you're right. And in fact, CatZ is making an incredible amount of Banelings. And Ragnarok, can he stop it? He's got 3 Spine Crawlers, but 28 Banelings. 28 from CatZ. And he's going to have to do the sickest amount of micro in his life in order to be able to protect against this.
Yeah.
And CatZ is going from 2 different angles.
Oh, the mutas are going to pop out in perfect time, though. And there's that Baneling speed. Wow.
Ooh, pulling back just in time so that way the Banelings don't trade inefficiently. And now the splits from Ragnarok are awesome. Look at the drones completely peppering over the natural expansion, and not a lot of losses were incurred.
Wow.
Great defense from Ragnarok, and that could have gone 50 times worse, but as a result, CatZ, his aggression has been pretty much thwarted.
That's why, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you do an aggression like this, throw in 2, 3, 4 Zerglings in the beginning just to see if you have the chance to just go in right away. The Banelings were so unnecessary. He could have just shot past everything, went for the main, and then the Zerglings would have just overwhelmed everything. Now, going into mutas, look at how many mutas are still out on the field. CatZ needs to do something really, really fast if you want to get back into this. Now the muta's taking out Banelings before they even morph or remorph it back into Zerglings, I should say. That is not looking good. Ragnarok does have to be careful of these counterattacks, but for the most part, I think he's fine. He's looking great. And I don't... wow.
The Banelings are rolling straight into the wall, and Ragnarok is completely fine. Now has mutas. His gas is in a safe place. You know, mutas won't die to anything that CatZ produces, and all of his gas has been invested into other things. He's making 2 corruptors.
4 corruptors.
4 corruptors.
Who's seen this before? I don't know anybody that actually does this. Says, I'm behind in mutas. Normally the response is, well, it makes no sense for me to go mutas. If I get mutas in this point, I'm dead, right? Because you're always going to have, your opponent's always going to have the muta advantage. So the fact that he's going corruptors is really, really clever, I think. Mutas are going to do damage over here to some of the overlords, but this Zergling counterattack might be able to do something.
And CatZ does get in, but well, you can see that even though Ragnarok calls the natural has a lot of Banelings as well, CatZ can't lose any more drones because he's very far behind already, but now entry to the main has been granted. Ragnarok going to bypass as well. CatZ forced to split. Good splits from CatZ as well, as the Banelings are not able to get effective AoE detonations. CatZ in the meanwhile still doing damage back in the main, but Ragnarok, not Zikdomin, he seems to have stabilized back in his main. And in the end, CatZ's drone count has dwindled pretty significantly, 29, but at the same time so has Ragnarok's.
Wow, it's amazing the workers kill tab, man. They're at very equal harvester counts, but you can see the workers kill is so substantially different. You can definitely see who's being the aggressive one this game around. CatZ, though, He is transitioned to glial reconstitution roaches, which is very, very interesting. I think if this was maybe... Actually, I think it's pretty good. Never mind. Take it back. Roach Corruptor. I've never seen this before in a ZVZ, though. I mean, in early game stages.
It's so weird to see, but I mean, Ragnarok just has to harass, keep his opponent pinned. Look at the map control that Ragnarok exudes compared to CatZ, because he's got overlords everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere, and CatZ's counterattacks will be spotted immediately. Yeah, some of the overlords will be dealt with, but for the most part, Ragnarok's in a great position.
Yeah, taking his third base. I mean, this is the power of mutas, really. And you can see all these traits are really affecting CatZ. He has to actually make the move to try to take out this bottom base. But you can see the Roach transition is already there from Ragnarok. He should be able to defend this pretty easily with the power of his mutas plus roaches. But the mutas are going to join up a little bit later. +1 out for both these players. So yes, in fact, CatZ will just fall back immediately. In the meantime, does he actually use... There are 3 Zerglings in the top right-hand corner. It's important to note.
Well, with that, we'll see. I mean, CatZ's Corruptors are very aggressive. Now, Corruptors actually have a good amount of armor. They have 2 armor, but still, there's just more mutas from Ragnarok to be able to deal with this, at least initially. And even if he trades them out, Ragnarok's been able to prepare a Roach transition already. His Roach is the 3rd defending. CatZ going for a 4-Roach counterattack at the natural, but Ragnarok's already got everything waiting for him, in fact. CatZ doing everything he can to buy time and doing whatever he can, but his drone count is too poor. He doesn't have hatchery production. In fact, CatZ only has 1 queen. He doesn't even have enough to really keep up larva cycles on both of his hatcheries.
That's exactly right. And now it's just ticking time out. We're going to see GG coming out from CatZ any time now, just because, I mean, he realizes Ragnarok's able to stable. He has a full base up on me, and that means so much more. Drones are so much more powerful in this matchup than any other matchup, and there it is, GG. CatZ will fall in game number 1. Ragnarok takes it.
So Ragnarok goes to 1-0, showing that Koreans are doing really well against foreigners today. They're currently undefeated, I believe. Yes, it's been 2-0, 2-0, and 1-0 thus far. Let's see if CatZ can bring it back, Andre.